In this episode of Is This Disc Right For You, we're talking about the Dynamic Disc Sergeant, an overstable driver, and with its speed and accuracy, you'll be surprised just how far you're going to be able to throw it.
The Sergeant is a fantastic disc for when you're just looking to get a little bit farther than you could with a typical fairway driver, but you want a little bit more control than you would with a powered down distance driver.
The Sergeant has a slight dome, smaller rim for a distance driver, but it feels great in the hand for forehands or backhands.
The numbers for the Sergeant are speed 11, glide 4, turn 0, and a fade of 2.5. Now to the important part, let's see how it throws.
One thing I take away from the Sergeant is the amount of glide this disc has. It just wants to stay in the air. The glide helps result in a surprising amount of distance for an overstable driver. Just because it's an overstable driver doesn't mean you can't get it to hold to that right line with the proper angle. Let's see how it flies for Anthony, a more advanced level player.
The Sergeant reminded me a lot of the Getaway. It has a little bit flatter top across with a little bit less dome, but in terms of the flight, the two are very similar. On a hyzer release, it just wants to hold that. On a flat release, you can throw it as hard as you want, or at least I can, and I know that it's not going to flip over. It might drift to the right a little bit, especially if I give it some turn. The biggest difference and the biggest benefit of that flatter top for the Sergeant was that sidearms. I can throw this on a sidearm so well. Let's see how Bobby handles the Sergeant.
For a distance driver, the Sergeant actually fits pretty comfortable in my hand, but because it's an overstable distance driver, it's pretty much going to go left right out of my hand. On my last throw, I tried to do a little bit of an Annie release, but as you can see, because of its overstability, it just comes right back to the left. Let's do a real quick recap. For Eric McCabe, our pro, he was really impressed with the glide. He felt given the proper release angle, he could get it to hold that right side before it finished left. For Anthony, an advanced player, it reminded him of the Dynamic Disc Getaway, a fairway driver in our disc lineup, in that he could throw it fairly hard on a flat release, and although it would flirt a little bit with the right side, it would still fade left at the end. For myself, it's an overstable driver. As soon as I threw it, it went to the left. So for a casual player, it's probably not the best driver to start out with. But as you would move up to an advanced level player, the Dynamic Disc Sergeant is definitely one you're going to want to try out. So if the Dynamic Disc Sergeant is something you want to try out, check it out at dynamicdisc.com or your favorite retail store. Thank you so much for tuning in to our Is This Disc Right For You series here on Dynamic Disc YouTube. If you got any good information out of this, please like and subscribe to our channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell so you can see all future videos that we put out. We'll see you guys.